Good morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Okon. Thank you so much everybody who have been helping me with this channel, with the program. I am talking about universal credit, which is a form of financial support given to the British people in the United Kingdom to help those who are on low income. It is means tested. If you watch this video, watch it with the rest of the video to try and put a context to what we are talking about. And today we will continue with the process of trying to explain the specifics about benefit, which is money. Universal credit is a form of money. It could be similarly something else, but mainly money. Whatever is given is measured necessarily in terms of finance. And let us look at thank you for those who have subscribed, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Share with family and friends, and thank you so much for everything you have done to be part of this. And it is actually, you look, because it is means tested, like I just mentioned now. This is continuation of what we have been talking about. We'll be talking about this to portray how policy works in particular, but also in terms of income factor as a part of the cost of living crisis. Because this program actually continues within the theme of cost of living crisis, which is topical. I will continue to talk about the cost of living crisis going forward, but also will be talk about other things from time to time. But my main program will remain cost of living crisis, because there's a lot of meat: policy, politics, society, environment, technology. The opportunity to talk about all these factors, and it is exciting. So you actually look at your earnings, because universal credit is a form of income, actually an earned income which you didn't work for, given by the government. But also, if you have enough income which you work for, like earnings from work, from employment, from self-employment, then it is tested against the universal credit. If you have more earnings from work, or whether employment or self-employment, if you have savings or something similarly, we have discussed actually a lot already in those fundamentals. So we'll be continuing. If you need to know a bit more, leave a comment below so that I can talk about things. So look about, you can have to do something called benefit calculation, which we have also talked about. And you look at the earning, you see how it affects your assessment period. We talked about assessment period. If you have received in the aren't average out. It's talking about averaging, because earning structure is actually fragmented, in my opinion. And normally, you, like, if you work flexible hours, maybe you work this week, you probably work 3 or 4 days a week, maybe you earn £2,000 or £3,000 in a month. This month, next month, probably you earn less or more. So that is the fragmented aspect of earnings, which you average out, you work out the maths and things like that. That's what we're talking about now. This is going step by step to see how it works, and I want to show also how complex the system is. And if you get 5 weeks wages in one assessment period and 3 in the next, and you will get more universal credit in that second assessment period. You get more because you earn less. I'm just repeating what I already said. And so if you are on a strike, your universal credit won't change. So that is the information. If you strike, is what people, if you are going out to do, if you're actually demonstrating, if you're going to demonstrate because of maybe condition of work or something, is called strike. When people go out to actually to complain about government in a political way, it's called direct action. That's what they call strike in the United Kingdom. Probably in your country it is actually called a different thing. So if you're on a strike, normally you get paid fully because you're supported in one way or the other, maybe by a trade union or some other organization. But also, if you go on strike and you're not being paid, the government will treat you as if you are being paid, and your universal credit is not going to change. That means you could lose out financially with benefit, and it's a government policy which people should really pay attention to. So sometimes when you are claiming universal credit, you are paid actually either twice, sometimes in a week, in a month, instead of once, because normally you get paid once a month. Sometimes people get paid twice for one reason or another, because maybe the way there's something called assessment period, depending on your assessment period, because sometimes if you're let's say if your pay date falls on the weekend or bank holiday, then this may confuse the system, and you probably get paid once or twice, or sometimes you don't get paid at all some months, because if you're paid twice this month, sometimes you might not be paid at all the next month. So that is some of the problem with universal credit, because it's just unnecessarily really complex, in my opinion. So if this happens, tell the DWP as soon as possible. And also the DWP can move a second set of earnings to a different assessment period. This is called reallocation, and this helps to make your universal credit payment regular, like I've tried to explain. So if you're paid weekly or 4 weekly, your earnings can't be reallocated to a different assessment period. Usually, the Department of Work and Pension get details of your pay from the tax office, your HMRC, His Majesty's Revenue and Custom Office, which is actually tax office. The government, the local government, the Department of Work and Pension, which is responsible for paying a benefit. Sometimes often they get your information for earnings from the tax office, and sometimes the tax office may not have the right figure of your earning. Maybe sometimes your employer made a mistake or some mistake occurred, and there are situations where sometimes you either get too much money or too little money. If you get too much money, the DWP will pay you less benefit, and if you get too little, the government will pay you more benefit, and you have to pay it back, because once it is discovered that you got more money or less money, then there's a situation where you need to pay an eye. You need to check that the information is accurate, and this can happen if there's a mistake, or if the tax office, your employer made a mistake, can make a mistake, or can fail to give HMRC information about your earnings, or actually send your information late, and the Department of Work and Pension the Department of Work and Pension, if it has used the wrong figures, then you can challenge the decision. This is called mandatory reconciliation. You should ask your employer for documents confirming right payment and dates, then show this document to their work coach. Work coach is somebody who is an advisor at the Department of Work and Pension. Make sure they give the DWP any other documents they ask for. Sure, if the HMRC report if you are reported and if the report arises that you are paid twice in an assessment period, when they warrant, if there's a mistake of double payment, but they warrant, if there's a mistake of that sort, then the DWP should disregard the report. And such a report can create a lot of problem for clients, actually, for people like you and I, member of the public, trying to use the service. And so you can find this information online, and also with the government, with the other charities if you are in trouble. So there are other issues you can take account of to do with trying to look at the capital, and if it makes a difference. Some of this information is being actually repeated. So if you have more than 6,000 in capital, we have actually discussed this, and if you have this, it will reduce your universal credit payment. The Department of Work and Pension will take up £4.35 a month for each £250. Roughly £5 actually. It will be taken off 250, which means you get £200. A part of 250 of capital between 6,000 and 16,000. So that is roughly how to look at the formula to calculate a universal credit, which in my opinion is really complicated. So you will usually no longer be eligible for universal credit if you have 16,000 or more in capital. We have discussed that already if you watch the other video. And you will be eligible if you used to get you will only be eligible if you used to get a tax credit and still have transitional protection from managed migration. Under transitional protection, the DWP will disregard capital of 16,000. So we have also discussed that. We are repeating this point. So capital includes things like savings, interest, property, and shares. It doesn't include personal possessions, business assets, and your home. If you live in a home, that is not included, and if you own it, and so on. So if capital are not really, if there are some capital which are actually ignored, if capital isn't counted as applicable, then it is called disregarded capital, which include personal possession, business asset, for example, money which you get from selling your home, and which you intend to use to buy another home. The money is disregarded as capital for 6 months after you get it. Money, for example, money you get from a certain emergency and compensation schemes. So the Department of Work and Pension will disregard capital from the following emergency and compensation schemes: the London Emergency Trust, or We Love Manchester Emergency Fund, the Windrush Compensation Scheme, the Vaccine Damage Payments Act, 1979 or 17, Section 17, the victims of overseas terrorism compensation scheme. These are actually part of some of the money provided by charities or tribes or certain schemes. So any scheme providing compensation for historical institutional child abuse in the UK, for example, any scheme providing compensation support in respect of the fire at Grenfell Tower on the 17th of June 2017, any scheme providing compensation support in connection with the failings of the Post Office Horizon computer system, all these are actually disregarded capital for your purposes of, if you are given this kind of compensation, this kind of money, there are capital which are actually disregarded when assessing how much universal credit you need to be paid. The total values of a personal pension scheme and life insurance policy also count as disregarded capital. However, the Department of Work and Pension considers regular payments from these schemes as income. So, where you own something jointly, such as a house, the DWP will assume it's an equal split unless you can prove otherwise. So this is complex, and you need to really get help. So it's not clear whether money counts as capital. If that is the situation, that money is not clear whether money counts as capital. So you can get also help from experts. So there is something called depriving yourself of capital, which means if you the information that you should really get rid of your capital. Because if you get rid of all your capital, it's going to the DWP will say you have deprived yourself of capital. So they treat you as if that capital is existing, so they don't really pay you benefit. Because sometimes people get rid of their maybe if they have money, they give it away so that they can get benefit. So using up capital is only deprivation of capital if it's done to get or increase universal credit payment. So some of this complication with getting benefit. So you can show that you got rid of if you are accused of deprivation of capital, you can try to show that you got rid of capital for a good reason. For example, you can use capital to pay a debt or part of a mortgage. So the Department of Work and Pension shouldn't treat your capital as having a notional capital indefinitely. So you should the DWP should reduce this amount over time. So if the DWP don't, then you can actually challenge the decision. If there is a problem with this situation, you always challenge the decision. People sometimes don't, so you challenge the decision. Therefore, in calculating universal credit, you either take up if there is some monies which are actually relevant, you take it away, so you can take away other types of income. Your universal credit will be reduced by the same amount you get from certain types of income. This includes pensions or annuities. So there are different types of pensions. So apart from state pension, there are other pensions which you might be getting before you even reach a retirement age. So if you're getting pension or annuities, maintenance from a current or former partner, though no child maintenance, this never reduces universal credit. If you're getting child maintenance, it doesn't affect your universal credit. But other form of maintenance, maybe your partner, you separated from them, and the law, the court probably, or some kind of agreement, you're being given some money. So if you're, your boyfriend, your husband, you're separated and they are supporting you financially, that is actually called maintenance, but not child maintenance, which is actually something. If you want to know more about this kind of information, then let me know, and then we'll probably explain them one way or the other, because I will be continuing to do this process going forward. So some insurance policy also taken into account. Some benefits such as carers allowance, incapacity benefit, maternity allowance, employment support allowance, and job seekers allowance also are taken into account. You don't need to take off income from some benefit, including bereavement support payment. This is if somebody dies in a funeral situation. Child benefit, we have discussed child benefit paid to children. This is not really, doesn't affect universal credit. Disability living allowance, this is a sickness benefit, which actually doesn't affect universal credit. Personal independence payment, the same, war pension, and similar places. There is something called an earned income. Some money from pension, benefit, maintenance, insurance will have the full amount taken off your universal credit payment. This is called an earned income. Each £1 of an earned income reduces your universal credit by £1. If you're eligible for an earned income but doesn't claim it, the Department of Work and Pensions can still reduce your universal credit payment. This is called notional and earned income. So this is actually information. Even if you're eligible for benefit and you don't claim it, sometimes it affects your universal credit. So these are some of the complexity. Just going through this material so that we can appreciate, because I've already talked about it generally. I just want to kind of look through certain specifics just to back whatever I've already said, because sometimes if I say things without, if you go on the internet, just type any of the, type universal credit. Just go, if you have a mobile phone, just type universal credit. It's going to bring all the information. You read it as much as you can. If more time you take to do that, because there's information everywhere these days. But the most important websites, actually government website, citizen advice, public website for citizen advice, shelter, and you get all this information, local authorities, and this type of organizations. So there's always information online, and if you are interested, even if you're not actually getting benefit, you can also still learn about these things, because they will affect you one way or the other. So other benefit like a pension or retirement income, if you are actually below pension age, and you can check your state pension age on gov.uk. So we already said that pension and retirement income after reaching state pension age can be looked at. And if you have reached this age of an earned income, include pensions, whether state, additional, graduated, occupational, personal, or civil leave. These are actually types of money you get when you're actually retired: annuities, insurance, policy in retirement, payments for early retirement because of ill health or disability, unless you are court unless you are court ordered or from a claim of settlement. So say, for example, payment from an equity release scheme, payment under the financial assistance scheme, after state pension age. The DWP also treat you as if you get some type of retirement income that you are being entitled to. If you applied for them, this income is called notional income, like we said before. So your notional income after state pension age includes money you are entitled to from your state pension, occupational pension, personal pension. The Department of Work and Pension always calculate our personal pension income as annuity payment for yourself, so you could buy with their pension pot. Now, so like we said, an earned income includes carers allowance, employment and support allowance, incapacity benefit, industrial injuries benefit, job seekers allowance, maternity allowance, severe disablement allowance, widow's parent allowance, widow's pensions, benefit from other country which are similar to any of these benefits. If a benefit is enlisted, it doesn't affect universal credit. For example, concern attendance allowance and exceptionally severe disablement allowance. There is also maintenance allowance. I'll say there are so many different types of payments. You could say an earned income includes insurance payments from policies to guard against loss of income from from illness, accidents, or redundancy. So student grants and loan is also looked at. Now, if you your student loan, if you're a student, your student loan or grant might count as income and affect how universal credit, how much universal credit you get. So the student income rules are also found online on different websites or different resources. Best thing is to actually ask for professionals to help. So if you get a Welsh government learning grant, it can be difficult to work out how it affects your universal credit. You might need to challenge the DWP, Department of Work and Pension, if you have got the calculation wrong. So if they have got the calculation wrong, you can challenge them. Like we said previously in the other materials, you can get help doing this from different sources, and you can look at other incomes and unearned incomes, which include annuities, unless the annuity was bought with compensation from a personal injury claim trust, unless the trust is to hold compensation from a personal injury claim, government employment scheme royalties if taxable, living expenses paid by a sports council. So there are also ignored income the DWP can ignore. So these include adoption and fostering allowances, child arrangement order payments, and kinship care payments, regular money coming from a charity, voluntary payment. For example, if a family member regularly gives your client money payments to third parties. For example, if a family member pays your phone bill and or mortgage protection policy payment, rental income from a room which you get if you are letting out your home, an earned income which is a monthly amount, an earned income and earn income monthly amounts. The Department of Work and Pension, Department of Work and Pension works out all universal credit payments monthly, and you can calculate payments. They will calculate payments paid at other intervals as if they are paid monthly by multiplying weekly payments by 52, then dividing by 12. Multiplying 4 weekly payments by 13, then dividing by 12. Multiplying 3 monthly payments by 4, then dividing by 12, dividing annual payment by 12, and if payments vary, the DWP will look for an identifiable pattern. Then they can find a pattern. If they can find a pattern, they will average payments across one cycle, that payment. If they can't find a pattern, the DWP will average out 3 months of payments to get a monthly amount, and you can then ask them to average across another period if this would be more accurate. So your universal credit payment is reduced to zero in the event where you claim universal credit, and this will end your universal credit altogether. Job Center will tell you if this happens, if your claimants, because their income increase, they might be able to get universal credit. Again, if your income goes down, your client will usually need to make a new claim. When the Job Center tell you your claim is ending, you should check your income, and which might go down in the next 5 months. And if your income might go down, then you should ask the DWP to keep your claim open. And if the DWP agrees, then they will keep checking your income for the next 5 months. The DWP will start your claim if your income goes down to an annual to an amount. That means you can get some universal credit. If you keep your claim open, and you should still tell them when your income has gone down. So reporting actually a change of circumstance in this context. And so if you're self-employed, and you should keep reporting your income and expenses through your online journal. Remember, if you are actually claiming universal credit, you actually have an online account. You need to set up an online account anyway, and look at surplus earnings. And there is an extra rule. If you actually if your universal credit claim stops because of your earnings or your partner's earnings, your previous earnings can reduce your universal credit payments for up to 5 months. This happens if your earnings is the assessment period when your universal credit stop, and where more if your universal credit stop and were more than actually if your universal credit stop and and then it's still more than this happens if your earnings in the assessment period when your universal credit stopped and were more than, if your universal credit was stopped and I don't understand this English, were more than the sum of 2,500, for example, any work allowance you get, and your standard amount plus any element, non-work income times 100 divided by 55. This threshold is called the relevant threshold. Any earnings over the relevant threshold are called surplus earnings. Surplus earnings are added to your actual earnings when calculating your universal credit payment for the next assessment period. This might mean the surplus earnings for this second assessment period and so on. This is a complex area of law, so you can actually visit gov.uk or actually get help, professional help in the extra looking at surplus earnings rule. Surplus earning rules doesn't apply if you have recently experienced or been threatened with domestic violence abuse. These could have been in the last 6 months leading up to your current claim, or 6 months up to the end of your previous claim. Now, you can get more details about domestic violence and abuse in relation to in Regulation Act 8 of Universal Credit Regulation 2013, and you can apply the benefit cap, and this is how to calculate. All we are trying to do is explain the formula for calculating universal credit. So this benefit cap is a limit to the total amount of money you can get from some benefit, and if your universal credit payment is over a specific amount, the Department of Work and Pension might reduce it to bring it down to a certain level. The benefit cap won't apply to your it won't apply to you if you or your partner is working and earns at least about £700 a month after tax. That is a net, and if you have a partner and then your combined earnings need to be at least also about £700 a month. Sure, also if you're getting limited capability for work or related activity, or also limited capability for work, the element of sickness or universal credit. And what they're trying to say is, if your income goes up or down, your benefit also goes up and down. But I'm just trying to run you through some of the materials so that it makes, so you form a picture. It's just to give you, because I've already discussed this generally. Just trying to go through certain materials so that you get an idea what actually takes place in the real world of calculating universal credit. So if you get a certain benefit because you are disabled or have a health condition, and if you have a child who gets one of these benefits, you can check the list of benefits gov.uk. The benefit cap might also not apply if you lost your job in the last 9 months, and also your earnings recently went down. So if you lost your job in the last 9 months, and your earnings also shifting, and the DWP should ask you to report your earnings from the last 12 months when you apply for universal credit to get the grace period. There's something called the grace period. Grace period is at the time when your income may or may not affect your universal credit. I think that's what it means. Normally that's like when the Department of Work and Pension reduce your benefits, it's like a form of tax. So if you get grace period, I mean they don't reduce your benefit. So something negatively affecting your universal credit is not applied. That's what grace period is. So if the Department of Work and Pension that don't ask you to report your earnings, you should send the Department of Work and Pension a message in your online account. So in case they don't ask you to report your, normally they ask you anyway to report the change of circumstances, but if they don't, then you do it because your responsibility anyway. If you don't report it, you can lose benefit, or if you're overpaid benefit, you have to pay it back, and it could create a lot of problems if you have to pay a benefit back because the level of benefit paid to you is so low, such that if you're getting benefit, you are going to not really have any saving. Most likely, if you will not have any saving to pay any debt at all, that means you're going to fall into a financial crisis rapidly, including not paying rent. We have discussed this already, and watch other videos. But watch this one also, and going forward we'll be talking about it. I'll be repeating some of the points because they're useful. And so, sure, benefit cap is important. So pay attention to benefit cap if you are actually interested in this topic, because I'm talking to everyone around the world. I mean, in the opening, looking at the material, if you watch the rest of the video, I pointed out why it is very important to try and understand what is happening in the United Kingdom in terms of policy and also practices, because it is similar to Europe, America, Asia, partly Africa, because of globalization. So it's for everyone, even if you are a millionaire or multi-billionaire, because sometimes if people who are actually struggling financially are trying to raise complaint, you see, they are actually just complaining. But if rich people, multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires, stop to pay attention and the evidence that the level of benefit is actually low. And I've said the best way is actually to streamline benefits, because they are scattered all over the place. They should be actually streamlined and the level should go up. The aim should be to get the British people out of poverty, because Britain is a very wealthy country, and the government is also keen on managing the economy growth. But if the growth doesn't trickle down through benefit and also employment, the minimum wage should also go up. The national minimum wage or living wage should go up. And I've also suggested this. And when we come to talk about employment, then you will find evidence, because you can't actually go online and just type evidence. I mean, there's a lot of information, except people are so busy. And I'll also be lucky if many people actually watch this video, which is going to be a good thing. If with a few or many watching, I think we are going to be okay. So the benefit cap is one of the issues, and the benefit cap, the amount of money you have can get in benefits before the benefit cap applies depends on things like where you live, the area probably you live, where you live, whether you are a single person. These are factors. Whether you have children in your home. This means you live with this means your family lives with you, and your children also live with you. You're responsible for them. So benefit caps in a situation where you're a single person without children, you live outside London. The benefit cap limit is 1,229,042 pence. If you're single without children and live inside London, your benefit cap limit is 1,400, thereabout, around roughly. If you're a couple living with children and also in London, living outside London, it's about 1,800 pounds. If you're a couple with children living in London, it's about 2,100 pounds. So if the child care element, the child care element is easily affected by the benefit cap. So you still get the child element even if you are actually subjected to benefit cap. Benefit cap means the limit the Department of Work and Pension pays. It doesn't pay benefit beyond a certain limit. So it doesn't matter if the amount you get for children means you are paid more than the benefit cap amount. So these are so complex things, which I feel are not necessary. So if you are calculating, you can take benefit sanction and other deduction of your universal credit. Because like giving with one hand and taking with another hand. So it's the level of universal credit paid really is low. But if you happen to get other benefit, which is really the problem with benefit cap, benefit reduction, because things like bedroom tax and things like that, they're just a mess. The system is just hopelessly complex and confusing for everyone, and yet it's a struggle even to get benefit. We have said this before. So this money the Department of Work and Pension has given such as an advance payment or budgeting advance, sanctions of a payment, child maintenance payment, or the money you used to pay off debts, for utility bills, benefit fraud, finding out about deduction to your child, to your universal credit payment. So we have discussed these things, and there is a lot to look at. And so once you have actually calculated the amount of universal credit you are to get, with the formula for calculating universal credit is extremely complex, and normally people who are claiming universal credit tend to lose benefit more than actually gain benefit, because even if you gain benefit, if you lose benefit because of a mistake made by the Department of Work and Pension, the chances of you getting that money back is almost zero, because people do not even want to visit the Department of Work and Pension. Apart from people going to the job center to look for work. And I because with almost everybody has access to the internet. If you don't have access to the internet, you then go to the partner work and pension to claim benefit using their computer, and also maybe using support from member of staff at the job center, trying to, and it is the process of claiming benefit itself is very stressful. So many people, including pensioners, don't claim their benefit, and people who need benefit for children don't claim it because, first of all, it is so humiliating, it's so embarrassing, it's an advertisement that you are a poor person, and the British people have their pride. My view is that if the government is really wanting to help people with respect, if you want to respect the British people, you want to give their dignity back, change the way benefit is accessed. There are computers. There is information in the hospital. There is information everywhere which shows what a client needs. What somebody claiming benefit needs is to tell the DWP either over a phone or just write a letter or send a message, an email to say, lost my job, this is my evidence, this is my bank detail, and that is enough. All this complication should change if needed, just immediately. And I doubt if the government is going to change anything, because the government actually created this problem, and it is a costly problem to create, but it is more problem also to solve. And people are not accessing benefit. Employment is another problem, because I'm talking about income. All I'm doing is going through this, I'm actually examining the nature of income in the United Kingdom. What actually amounts as income in the United Kingdom, what benefit stands for, what employment stands for, and what the minimum wage means, the national minimum wage, the national living wage. I say the level is very low, so it should be increased. And if you have a member of parliament, try your best to go and actually meet with your member of parliament. If you are lucky, then they will talk to parliament, and parliament will talk to government, which will actually change the policy. And policy is a very, very complicated process. It takes a long time to create policies. It takes even longer to change policy. So the chances of change is very remote. So what I've been saying to people is that do your best to claim benefit if you need it. Do your best to find work and work as hard as you possibly can. And if you have to work 3 to 4 to 5 jobs, do so, because the government is not going to change anything. If you like what you get from the government, then access it as much as you can. If you can get help from professional, get help from professional. If you cannot get help yourself, help yourself. And if you're sick and you're struggling to access a family doctor, then you know probably you're not going to get a family doctor, but try your best to get a family doctor. Try your best to get a dentist, because now if you don't have money in the United Kingdom, the chances of you getting dentistry, medical support, legal support, even if you go to buy things online or in stores, if you go on public transport, anything is bound to happen to you without any recourse to fairness or justice. Put up with it, because it is your life. If you can't get help from even the police, if you need the police service, because the police and the emergency services are shutting down because they are being privatized. All these problems are being created by privatization, and that's why the public sector is closing down. And because also of privatization, the main economy, the small and medium businesses are also closing down. And people may or may not believe what I'm saying, but that is okay. And big businesses will also close down. Therefore, in 100 years, 50 to 100 years, the economy will begin to decline in such a way that there will be a disappearance of the economic age. We will enter technological age, which is a good thing. It's better than economic age anyway. People think economic age is good. Yes, it is. But if technology takes over running a country, or the countries of the world, not just the United Kingdom, and this technology begin to produce products, goods and services at no extra cost, then in principle, everybody in the world should be accessing goods and services free of charge, which will actually shut out the problem of poverty. Nobody will be poor. If people still consider to be poor, it means people are actually culturally lagging behind in terms of learning, in terms of understanding peace, in terms of trying to really live peacefully. Something which we can solve, but it's going to take time. My intention for going through this exercise primarily is actually to get the British people and the people of the world to look after themselves in terms of accessing the product of development like wealth and related support on the one hand, but on the other, to try to go back to basics, to look after yourself, look after your family, friends, and your community. Participate, do something. You can choose to sit and get people to do things for you or to you. That is your choice, but people can do things for you, that is fine, and you can do things to you also. If that is okay, then fine. But the best way to live a life is actually to start impacting your life, the life of your community, the life of your society. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to make a decision, to be independent, to be empowered, even if you are poor, even if you are rich, because even rich people can depend on the market because they are investors and entrepreneurs or shareholders. That's how you get wealth. You get wealth as an investor, or sometimes you get wealth as an employee. If you are a movie star and being employed by somebody, you can be paid a lot of money. I don't know how much. If you're a footballer or a sports personality, being paid like Lewis Hamilton is being paid by Mercedes. I don't know if he's self-employed. I think he's employed by Mercedes. But this man is worth in excess of, I think, 300 million. He's very wealthy. So work. If you're a sports personality, you are actually a sporting star. Maybe you're a footballer. You are a tennis player. You are a Formula One driver. I mean, you are being employed. If you are actually an actor, potentially you can get a lot of money. So the economy of creating wealth is quite robust at the moment, and it can help in different ways, which it is helping. But at the end of the other scale, more and more people are actually being excluded as a defaulted impact of capitalism in the market economy. I've repeated this point many times, and offer no apology for repeating this point, because the effect everything. They affect everyone. The clothes you wear, the food you eat, the politics you play. Politicians, if without capitalism there will be no politicians, there will be no politics. So we had this discussion, and leave a comment below, share, and subscribe to this channel, support it, share with family and friends, and do your best to watch as much as you can, or as little as you can. That is okay. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.